Spoilers ahead. When the first season of Invincible ended, I was dead silent. I had just witnessed one of the greatest seasons in TV show history. The fight for planet Earth was set in stone after the brutal beatdown of Mark by his father Nolan, aka Omni-Man. So many questions had arisen following the season. Simply put, I was ecstatic for Season 2, and figured, well, it should only take maybe a year or 18 months until we get the next season. Nope. Try 30 months. And while we're at it, let's have a long break in between episodes 4 and 5. Invincible took almost as long to return to Amazon Prime for a new season as Stranger Things did on Netflix in between seasons 3 and 4. I remember how excited I was about a new season of Invincible immediately after season 1, but as time went on, I started to forget about its greatness. My focus shifted to other shows during that 2.5-year break. Heck, the wait was so long, my anticipation level dwindled to nothing, and once Season 2 officially released on Prime, I did not watch it right away. In fact, I waited months to catch up. But as soon as I made the decision to revisit this show, I locked back in. In order to enjoy Season 2 more though, I chose to rewatch Season 1 beforehand. When there's a huge gap between seasons for an excellent TV series, I feel like it's best to watch the previous seasons again to refresh my memory, and typically it helps me see the bigger picture. That's why I like binging shows after every season is released, because my memory can kind of suck sometimes with TV, and it makes for a better overall viewing experience. Just like when you binge a movie trilogy, and I feel like if a movie or a show are great, you're doing a disservice to the material by watching a recap on YouTube. A few years ago, I rewatched Barry seasons 1 and 2 in preparation of season 3. I gotta say, I'm happy I did this. The rewatch reminded me why I'm here in the first place, and even if the newer seasons weren't great, it was nice to see the entire picture in one big viewing without year-long breaks. Plus, seeing Barry's greatness again is something I'll never be upset about. So when it came to Invincible Season 2, I just knew I had to watch the first season again, especially if Season 2 ended up disappointing, because at least I could remind myself why this show was great. Luckily though, this was not the case. Invincible Season 2 is exactly what I needed. Despite falling short of Season 1's spectacular storytelling, the good of Invincible's second season heavily outweighs the mediocrity. So did Invincible Season 2 provide answers? In many ways, yes. I feel like we now have a better understanding of the Viltrumites' weaknesses. This season also showed us the aftermath of Omni-Man's destruction in Season 1 and how Mark and his mother handled that crushing blow to their family. Like the first season, Season 2 has a variety of side plots as well. Some are good and others are quite forgettable. I'm sure most of us can agree we are all here for the main story though, and Season 2 continued that thunderously. As a non-Invincible comic book reader, I had no idea what to expect next from this show. Let me say, Invincible threw a curveball. Following Season 1, my most hated character in all of TV was Omni-Man. Joffrey Baratheon originally held that title, so for Omni-Man to remove Joffrey off that mantle was pretty impressive. The only thing is, I'm now a huge Omni-Man supporter. For this TV show to flip my ideology of that character in just one season is amazing. How I went from hating Omni-Man's guts to feeling nothing but sympathy for him is elite writing. And I can't remember the last time I felt so emotional watching an episode of TV than Invincible Season 2 Episode 4. Once Omni-Man left Earth in Season 1, he encountered the Thraxan alien race. From here, he goes to their planet, falls in love, and has a kid. But since he abandoned his post on Earth, the Viltrumites come for him, putting the Thraxans in danger. So Mark is forced to make a decision. Should he help his father, or leave him in the dust? But Mark, being the good person he is, decides to stay. Despite having anger towards his father, he chooses to fight by his side and take on some Viltrumites. This is where the season peaked. It's up there for one of the best moments and episodes in the series thus far. As a viewer, you go through an emotional ringer, and I can't imagine how annoyed those of you were who saw this episode back in November and had to wait another 4 months for the season conclusion. Regardless, I'm blown away away by how good this storyline has gotten, and it's only going to get better. I like that we had an episode partly dedicated to Alan's backstory too, and after what seemed like his fatal blow by the Viltrumites, Alan returned stronger than ever, so powerful that a Viltrumite's punches no longer hurt. So now it seems like Alan and Omni-Man will escape this Viltrumite prison together next season, which I can't wait for. And hearing Nolan's words of guilt to close out season 2 was a great change of pace. As far as the rest of the season goes, I had loads of fun, but again, the emotional elements reign supreme, such as Rick coming back to college after getting torn apart and put back together. His scene with Donald in episode 7 provided the show's saddest moment thus far. The subplot in episodes 5 and 6, in which the Guardians of the Globe, Mark and Adam Eve fend off the Sequids while offering a near-death scare to Rex, Duplicate, and Shrinking Ray, was thrilling, especially when the cliffhanger got thrown in there. I thought the multiverse stuff with Angstrom Levy was pretty cool. It may overcomplicate things a little and definitely reminds me of a fellow universe I'm not too fond of at the moment, but it's interesting seeing how different scenarios have played out across all universes. I'm hoping eventually we can see Omni-Man and Mark team up to fight alternate evil versions of themselves in a future season. Now, they do in fact leave the Viltrumite main story by the wayside during the season's finale, opting to focus on Angstrom Levy's revenge plot against Mark, which began in episode 1. I never was totally sold on Angstrom as the big baddie this season, but seeing how tragic his backstory is in other universes, all because of evil alternate universe Mark, provides an understanding of where Levy is coming from. So you begin caring about his character and motivation in these moments. He's no longer a throwaway villain. Plus, Mark losing control when Levy threatens to kill his mom and half-brother Oliver is a shocking sequence that will likely affect Mark for seasons to come. There's also a plethora of romance this season between Mark and Amber. Some of it's good. Mark does develop as a character in these scenes, leading to a realization that he can't date normal human beings. So they break up. It's pretty sad. And now the door is open for a romance with Eve, which I totally ship. And that just about covers the most important storylines of Invincible Season 2. While this season isn't as good as Season 1 in my opinion, mostly because the first season's Omni-Man mystery was excellent and those final 2 episodes are nothing but perfection, I think Season 2 gets the job done. It not only builds off what Season 1 created, but sends some storylines in very unexpected great directions. Most notably the Omni-Man stuff. And now that hope for humanity and aliens alike has been established, I can safely say this season accomplished what it needed to. The finale may have been a little disappointing in comparison to Season 1, but like I said, it's a nice change of pace from what we received during Season 1's finale. So what are your thoughts on Invincible Season 2? Do you like it more than Season 1? And how long do you think it'll take for another season to come out? Let's all hope it's not another 30 months. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know down below in the comments section. Invincible once again has become one of my favorite ongoing TV shows, so I can't wait to see what else this show has to offer. Anyway guys, as always, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time.